Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live. Happy Monday night to everybody. Hope everybody's doing all right. I know my partner Ryan over here is struggling, but he's with us. How you doing tonight, Ryan?
A little under the weather, but we're getting there.
You got an IV drip off camera going, or?
No, just drinking water.
Oh, you know this man's sick. He's drinking. Yep. He's drinking water. He's drinking water. Well, we got a big show tonight, man. We got Brian Hillman in here. Just won the All American Classic. He was on at the beginning of the year after he came in runner-up at a series event and then capped off the year by winning the Classic. So we got Brian on. We're going to talk about that and talk about the event. And then we've got a bonus guest towards the end of the show. Tyler Cole from the All-American Classic is going to come in and kind of give us an update on what they're doing for next year. So that's going to be fun.
Name sounds familiar.
Yeah, old TC, Tyler Cole. That guy does a little bit of everything, man. Wins big events, runs big events. A little bit of everything, so that's going to be fun.
Always a pleasure having him on, too.
Yeah, and if you guys saw earlier, we're doing a little like and share for a swag pack again of Revo's stuff, so all you have to do is like our page, like Revo's page, and share this live stream. It's pretty simple. And we'll pick somebody. We're going to give giving stuff away every week. It's nuts.
I know. Crazy, man. Crazy.
It's nuts, man.
What have we got happening in the world that we've missed out on here in the last week or so?
Man, not a whole ton of stuff happened on the page, really, to be honest. I want to say thanks to everybody that signed up for the Kayak Fishing Network platform. I announced that last week, and we've had up to 160 members over there checking it out, giving me some tips on what I can improve, and we're pushing towards getting an app for that thing, hopefully sooner rather than later. So appreciate everybody that's done that. That's been.
And I mean, that's kind of like give some people some details. And granted, I've only played around on it for a few minutes myself. I need to do that in my downtime this week, but. What's the goal here? We obviously kind of had something going with the Kayak Fishing Network name, trying to do like some more interactive informational type stuff, but you've kind of transitioned it over into like its own little, encapsulated world of social media.
Yeah. So the idea is to was to create a Facebook alternative, basically, as Facebook gets more strict with what you can and can't do, and you see all these news stories every day with the government coming down on them with regulations and breakups in Facebook. 2 weeks ago we had a big outage with Facebook, so trying to create a Facebook alternative that's directly crafted around kayak fishing and kayak anglers, so that it'll be a tool for them rather than trying to make Facebook a tool for them. I mean, Facebook's just Facebook. They've got their own agenda. They're not really here to help us. So my idea was to create a little membership site that has a membership fee attached, number one, to block out all the spam and fake accounts, but number two, to keep it ad-free forever, algorithm-free, spam-free, all that kind of stuff forever, and try to keep refining it as a tool and as an alternative for Facebook if people get tired of using that, because that's kind of all we have. I mean, nobody uses websites anymore. Nobody uses forums anymore, and I hope Kayak Fishing Network can kind of be a meld of all three, a little bit of old school, a little bit of new school, and once we get the app going, I think that'll be the deal. Because right now it's just a mobile website, and I know, that's not exactly what everybody's used to. So we're going to try to get an app going and see where it goes from there. So it's been fun project.
I like it.
Yeah, man. And then, we post stuff about the shirts. You got any messages about those sweatshirts?
Yeah, I mean, I think. Are you seeing people pay on that?
Yeah, we're about 30%. We're about 30% on the list. So
good, because I'm gonna have to pay this Chase Tanner bill here in a minute. So y'all get paid up on your KBN sweatshirts.
Yeah, man. So get over to on the group page. There's a pinned post that has the list of people that owe and all that kind of stuff. So check that out and send me a payment. We'll get your shirt made up, courtesy of Threadfin.
Yeah. All right.
Man. What else we got going? I don't think there's much else to talk about, man. Besides getting Big Brian in here, the man with the giant trophy. I want to know how much that trophy weighs. We'll get him in here and ask him about that. As always, let's talk about our sponsors real quick before we go. I got my fresh new Dugout bait and tackle hat on. Make sure you go to dugoutfishing.com rather than all these other websites that we see people complain about all the time. Go to a kayak fishing outfitter to get your stuff. Go to dugoutfishing.com.
And just a little update on the website. They're getting everything loaded up now. They're putting all the products on, and then they'll inventory everything and get all the inventory full on the website. They're trying to transition over kind of from what's in the store to what's on the site. So they're looking, it's probably going to be mid-November is what we're shooting for as far as everything being up to date inventory-wise on the site. So don't think it's a joke like we're sending you there and nothing exists. But
yes, sir. That's,
Look, Taylor Howe's commenting like she needs a hoodie. So, I mean, I know they've got a virtual baby shower coming up. So, Chase Tanner, let's see if we can not get Taylor Howe a hoodie in there. That'd be my gift for the
Can we put that
virtual baby shower.
That drawing that we had on the page today on the hoodie, like a special edition VDH hoodie?
I think we can.
Okay. Taylor, give us a thumbs up if you want.
I got you, Taylor. Keep baby mama warm out there. Don't worry, Brian. Somebody will get her a hoodie. You sit back, Playboy. You keep counting all that money.
You need to go everybody needs to go find that picture that got shared this morning by somebody, or maybe it was yesterday, but that was good stuff. Taylor sticking up for a man, as always. Then, like I said, we're doing the Revo contest tonight, and then we've, as always, got the Western Sun beverage of choice. Maybe Ryan, you need to mix up a little Western Sun with some water, make you feel better.
Buddy, I'm crippled up. I'm good. It's going to take me a few days to recover, I'm afraid.
Yeah, we got Ashley Kay earlier in the comments. She said she hope you feel better, Ryan. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I know. I appreciate that.
She's worried about you. Yeah,
I'll be fine. I'm too stubborn to get knocked down too bad.
All right. So let's see. Let me get this thing changed around, and we will pull Mr. Hillman in here as he waits patiently for us. All right, Brian Hillman.
There we go.
Welcome to KBN Live, buddy. Again.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So I know Ryan, he's always got the questions about how the tournament went and things like that, but I got one question to ask first beforehand.
Okay.
Which was a bigger deal to you? Winning the big trophy behind you or winning that team trophy?
I'll tell you what, I'm going to default and say the team trophy.
All right.
That was pretty special,
right.
and because it meant a lot to, Josh and the Moyak crew. So yeah, it was pretty special. Everybody was pretty happy about that one. So I enjoyed that one a lot.
Yeah. My local club came in runner up, the club I founded. And I think if I'd have went up to the event, that they probably would have still came runner up. So
I like it.
Those guys made a run.
Yeah, man. I thought they had it. So it was fun to watch. But anyway, I digress. Yeah. Ryan, take it away.
What did you win the tournament on?
Well, I would say day one and day two were totally different. Not totally different, but I used a jackhammer on both days. On day one, that was my primary bait, and
this is crazy. This is a crazy pattern.
I know it's weird, isn't it?
Seems to travel all over the place.
Dude,
I'll be damned.
I'm telling you. Not only did I use one jackhammer, I used three. I used three different colors. And,
what?
And yeah. So
at the same time,
I used
no.
Well, I was going back and forth because I didn't know which one they wanted. more. But yeah, I used a white and chartreuse. I used a Clearwater shad, and then whenever the sun came out and it was real bright and that those blades were flashing too much, I picked up a green pumpkin with the painted blade. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right. Have you tried them on like a Tennessee rig or anything?
What's that again?
Have you tried them on like a Tennessee rig, like the 3-hook umbrella rig? Have you tried just putting all 3 jackhammers on that and seeing which color they prefer?
I don't think I have a rod that big to throw that. So,
Okay.
But yeah.
We can get you one
like,
at the Dugout Bait and Tackle. Don't worry.
Awesome. Marketing 101.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but the jackhammer did most of the damage on day one, and at some point it did slow down. So I switched over to an underspin, and I mean, as soon as I started throwing the underspin, it was a little more subtle with the flash, and they start hitting it too. I caught a lot of fish on day one. Nothing really big. I had an 18-inch kicker, but besides that, it was all 14s, 15s, 16s in there, and yeah, it was good on day one. Day two, the bite changed a little bit, and when I got back there, I thought it was going to be on, so I had the jackhammers tied back on. I was making all the same cast to start the morning, and yeah, I wasn't getting bit the same way. So, the weather changed drastically too between the 2 days. We started off on day one with 38-degree temps, and we had bluebird skies. There wasn't a cloud in the sky all day, and high bright sun. And then on day two, we started off with like 55 or 56-degree temps, so 17, 18 degrees warmer, and we had storms coming in. So about the first hour, I thought the fishing was going to be excellent, with the overcast skies and the front coming in, but it was slow. It started off slow and it was tough, and I wasn't getting bit the same way. And I wasn't too nervous about it. I just figured I had to put my head down and grind it out. But after about an hour, the storms rolled in and the lightning was crazy. So I had to get off the water. I bet a lot of guys got off the water at the same time because it was nuts and it was right above us. And so I stood for about an hour on the bank, and in between lightning strikes, I'd make a few casts, but I didn't get too crazy. but as soon as the lightning stopped and it kept raining, I went ahead and jumped back in the kayak and went to fishing, and had to tie on spinnerbait at that time. And I'll tell you guys something funny about the spinnerbait here in a second, but tied on the spinnerbait, wasn't expecting to throw it, but had one in the boat just in case. And I went catching fish again. It was numbers again. I was catching 12, 13, 14-inch fish, and smaller fish, nothing too big. I did have an 18 on the board. It was my second fish before the lightning rolled in. So I had a small limit after probably 2.5 hours of being on the water, and as long as it was raining, I was getting hit on that spinnerbait, and it was good. But then the rain stopped. It was about 11 o'clock. The rain finally stopped, and then the bite really slowed down for me. And so I was getting a little concerned, and so I picked up a jig at that point, went over to a bush, started flipping this bush, and I started whacking the fish off this bush, and I stuck my big one off that bush. It was 20 and a quarter. So
I like
that
that
was pretty
section
good.
of the story there. That's good.
Yeah. So, and the whole time I had good service, so I was cementing fish, and as I was cementing fish, I was watching the leaderboard, and I got on the fish a little bit early, so I had a lead. I was back in the lead. I was in first place, and so I was feeling pretty good. But I knew it was a small limit, so I figured some people would catch me, and right at about 11:30, I had a little upgrade, and I looked at the board, and Chad Davidson had passed me, and he passed me by a margin, a large margin. He had a 6-inch lead on me, and I'd fallen to third. I think it was Ryan that was in second at the time, but anyway. But after I caught that 20 and a quarter, I put it on put it on the leaderboard, and I took a 1-inch lead. So I was feeling pretty good about that. I figured if I could pick up a couple more fish and just to get a few more inches to give myself some cushion and give myself a chance to win this thing, I thought I'd be doing okay. Little did I know I was gonna upgrade pretty big. So after that fish, I went to throw in the spinnerbait again. At this time, the rain had stopped, the water was slick, calm. It was still overcast skies, but man, I was not getting the bites like I was expecting, the number of bites. So I was just covering water, and at one point I saw the bait fish starting to move again. They were starting to flicker. They were getting chased, and it was in certain spots that they were getting chased. So I just kept paddling back and forth to all these spots that they were getting chased, and I cast up on this flat with the spinnerbait, and I hooked up, rod loaded up, and I was like, man, this fish feels pretty good. And by the time I got it to the boat and I got it in the net, I realized it was a pretty good fish. It was an 18-incher. So now I got a 20 1/4, I got an 18, and I got my second 18. And I'm thinking, okay, that's pretty.
Hey, Brian, let me stop you for a minute because
sure.
Ryan has to understand you're fishing in Missouri. He's hearing 18 good fish, and he's down there in the southeast thinking, okay, whatever, man. We're up in Missouri here. We're up in Missouri here. So go ahead.
Well, so he
Continue.
was talking about the stringer being, mostly 14s and 15s earlier. That's why I was thinking, we weren't going to be talking about a big stringer. So
yeah.
So I'm glad you continued to call those out.
Clicking on up. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's good. Well, the fishing's tough too. I mean, Truman's got some big fish in it, but the fishing
November.
The fishing's been really tough. And there were some good fish caught in this tournament, but they were few and far between. But anyway, so I catch that 18 and it's like a 4-inch upgrade for me, and I'm thinking, okay, this is looking pretty good. Maybe I'm gonna go ahead and maybe it'll be my day. and I go to put the fish into Tourney X and submit it, and as I'm doing that, I'm also checking the leaderboard at the same time. Well, it's like 12:30 at this point. I didn't realize it, but Josh turned off the leaderboard at noon. And so, although I felt like I was doing well, I didn't know where I was at this point, because if I'm catching them, who else is catching them, right? So anyway, so I felt good about it. I went another probably hour and a half without a bite, and I was still just covering water with a spinnerbait, and decided to go back to the bush and see if anything reloaded there. I went back. I made one pitch on the bush and felt a thump, started going sideways. I set the hook, and it was a 17-incher, and that was a 3-inch upgrade for me because I had all 14s on the bottom side there. But I was pretty happy about that. Now I'm feeling really good about this. And my smallest fish, my limit now is another 14. I think I'm sitting at after that 17, I think I'm sitting at 87.5 at that point, which was honestly, it was more than I expected I was going to catch that day. I thought if I put up 85, that would be a great day, fantastic day, and I was going to be happy with that. But being at 87.5 or 87.25, whatever it was, I felt pretty good about that, and I was starting to feel kind of content with it. Thinking I've probably got a really, really good shot to win this thing at this point. So anyway, got a couple of hours left, and I worked that bush over. Caught another small one that didn't help, but picked up the spinnerbait and started running water again. And then I remembered a spot where I had seen some bait fish flicker whenever I came into my area, but I never went back to fish it. And I was like, well, I ran all of this. Let's go there and check that out. And I paddled over there, and they were flickering a little bit. And I made one cast over on this point, turned the handle a couple times, rod loaded up, And I was like, ooh, this one feels pretty good too. so I brought it up and got it in the net. It was an 18.5. So, so that really capped off my day. I mean, I had like I said, about an hour and a half left in the day, but I didn't upgrade anymore. But that 18.5 put me at 91 3/4. I thought it was 92, but I did the math wrong in my head. So it ended up being 91 3/4, and it was a good fish. Yeah, that last fish of the day, that 18.5, it had some shoulders. Was
that from a 14? Was that a 14 incher you called from with the 18.5?
Yeah.
So 14, that won you the tournament. You won by a 4 1/4. So that 4.5 inch upgrade.
Yeah. I was trying to do a little bit of math. If I wouldn't have caught that 18.5, it would have been really close. I may have had Troy by a 1/4 inch, which would have been high drama. But anyway, yeah.
It's definitely.
Yep.
We had some questions coming in there, Jeff. I noticed. Throw a couple of those up.
The number one question, I had the same one. I know that you fished out of a Hobie for years, and that was not a Hobie deck that I saw. And a bunch of people asking, what kayak are you in?
So, yeah, I still have the Hobie. I mean, it's in the garage, but I didn't bring it to this one. It's a Hobie Pro Angler 14 360. I knew I was going to be fishing some different water, and I needed a different boat to get to that water. So I was in a Jackson Bite.
Really?
That I had rigged up. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So another paddle. Did you have a motor on it, or did you just paddle it?
Well, it's rigged up for a motor, but I paddled mostly.
How about that? Another paddler winning a big championship. Amazing.
Yeah.
A few people guessed it was a Diablo.
I saw that.
No, that's my throw kayak.
Throw Clifton's up.
Oh, yeah. Did you position that trophy?
It looks like your mount is chasing the fish on top of your trophy.
No.
Was that on purpose?
Very tricky.
Sure. Yeah, that was on purpose.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you say, Clifton.
Of course.
Somebody else asked, were there lots of shad/bait balls where you were catching fish?
Yeah. There were some bait fish up there. There were some big gizzard shads, but there was also some smaller bait fish. And there were certain spots where they were holding. There was key spots like little points and little washouts, a couple of flats. So I was just running circles around all those.
Yeah, it's got me curious where you were fishing. Do
you have a lot of experience on the lake? I mean, is that a place you were kind of familiar with?
Of all the lakes here in in Missouri, it's probably the one I'm least familiar with. And for the longest time, fishing the Moyak series, we only fished it a couple of times throughout the years. But over the last couple of years, we picked it up, and it's been in our rotation. And I'll tell you, I mean, it's a big lake. I mean, I got a love-hate relationship with that lake. I love it right now, obviously, but I fished two other tournaments on that lake this year, and I got fifth a few weeks ago at the All American series, the last one, and then in June we had 82 anglers in a Moyak event, and I finished 62nd place in that one. So
wow,
I mean it's handed it to me before. So
one of your fellow Moyakers has a question. What was the water clarity like where you were fishing? Is he trying to snoop? Is he trying to snoop where you were fishing? Yeah. Trying to piece the puzzle together?
Possibly.
Sneaky.
So,
Richie.
Yeah.
I saw some pictures.
It was better.
It looked
better
fairly
than
clear.
most.
Yeah, it looked fairly clear.
In the subtitles, Jeff, it says Mojackers. I like that. That's thank you, closed captioning.
The Mojackers. Consider it a name change. Can we talk to Josh about that?
Yeah, it's up to Josh. I'm sure he'd entertain it.
Oh, yeah, my goodness.
Got some more questions coming in. I'm going to try to get back and find a few of them. But if you have any more, throw them in here for us. We're going to have Brian for a little bit tonight. I got a question about that trophy behind you because it's a monster. Mm-hmm. It's a big trophy, and it looks heavy. And this picture right here, that looks like an incredible feat of strength to hold that thing out and just pose for a picture like that. How heavy is that?
Well,
thing?
I've been working out. I mean, it's probably about 100 pounds. But, no,
Yeah.
100 pounds of solid gold.
Yeah, right. It's not that bad.
Aluminum? I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
I just was very impressed by that pose right there. I thought it was adrenaline. I didn't know.
Does the lid come off? Like, could you drink out of it if you wanted to?
Negative.
All right.
No.
Never mind. Scratch that idea. Maybe
somebody
next
else
time.
had a question earlier. Where was that at? Somebody asked. Oh, there it is. Fantine said you look like a cop. Are you a cop, Brian?
I am not.
Brian is a cop name.
Oh man.
Not a cop.
Not a cop.
Our only cop regularly on here was Cruz, and he's not a cop anymore.
I know.
Oh, well, we've got Harshman. He's a cop for certain hours in certain parking lots, but
He's a TikTok cop.
when he's not dancing, he's copping.
He's copping on TikTok. Yeah. Let's talk about the event a little bit, Brian. I mean, I know you won $10,000, but
Yeah.
outside of you, the big win, let's talk about the event overall. Year 2 of this thing and how it went to you. Was it bigger and better than last year? I didn't get to go this year. I was there last year. Everyone's impressed last year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was bigger and better, but it was definitely there were a few aspects of it that were a little more polished this year, and I think it's just a year older, than they've been, and they've kind of learned some things. They being Josh and everyone that kind of helped put that together. Tyler did a great job being the MC. Everhart's they were working hard to make sure everything was taken care of, to host the event. And, I know Josh spent a lot of hours. He's been working on this for the last few months and just making sure, all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. He's a detail-oriented kind of guy, and he made sure that happened. And things went off without a hitch for the most part. So even though it rained on us, we had the Big Ten.
170
How many guys were in this? 100.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a pretty solid turnout out there in wherever it was, Missouri, whatever you guys call it out there.
Wherever it was. Everything west of the Mississippi is wherever it was, except for where you go elk hunting. That's it. Everything else is
whatever's out there. I mean, I don't know where that is either, to be honest with you. I'm out in the mountains somewhere.
They just drop you off out of the plane. You hunt, come back home.
Yeah, I couldn't find my way there from here if I had to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That this event kind of fell into that niche where the original TOC was. Kind of picked up where that hole was, but they kind of expanded on it a little bit. They allowed some different qualifications, including tournament directors from certain clubs and Sportsman of the Year. Expanded it out how you can get into this thing. But even the original TOC, people didn't understand it as a national event, even though it was, and this is too. I mean, clubs from New York can partner up with the All American and get folks into this, right? And then that works.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the way it was originally designed. So,
yeah.
So, I mean, nationwide, any club, who wants to participate, you can send your top 10 from Angler of the Year.
Yeah.
Come
so
battle
it's
out.
not a regional deal. As a matter of fact, hang on just a second. We got the man himself, the MC, Tyler Cole.
What's up, guys?
He's in a little early with his headset and crooked hat, looking like
Jim
Big
rolled
Papa.
out of my work truck.
All right, that's cool. But yeah, we were just talking, Tyler. You may have heard us. We were talking about the misperception of the All American and the TOC before it of not being, of being a regional event, and it's not. It's a national event. We're going to talk about that a little bit.
Clifton is excited by that. He just commented and said, "See, I have fished a national event, haters." Congrats to Clifton on realizing his first national event.
I'm trying to get my headset connected again.
Oh, you're
It's
good, man.
freaking out here. Give me just a minute.
Oh, you're good. Richie got in the comments that Brian was the Moyak Club president when Moyak went to the first TOC in 2015. That's right. You and Eric were still doing things back then, right?
Yeah, we were. I think I was the president for a couple of years, and before Josh took over. So
yeah, that's cool.
That's
where I met you originally, wasn't it, Brian? Up there at one of those events, or was it at that Terry Manley event up there on Table Rock? Is that where I met you?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, I remember that event. That was the one you won.
The original,
the
founding father of the national tournament series.
That's right. Matter of fact.
Yeah.
Looky there. For old time's sake, I got one on the shelf.
Look at
Marvin. Marvin says Tyler Cole looks like he's on a crab boat.
He might be.
He's out
That's
there
little
pulling
known
pots, boys.
Little known fact: Truman Reservoir has crab pots in it. If you want to run them through there. No, it doesn't. I think he's struggling to connect. Can you hear us, Tyler?
It's,
Struggling bad.
All right.
So,
we got you now, though, right? You good?
Yeah, I can just barely hear it. So
All right, we'll roll with it.
We'll roll with it, man. Yeah. So what I asked you before your headset went crazy is the misperception of the TOC and then this event of being a regional event when really it's open nationally to anyone that wanted to partner up and send qualifiers, right?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, any club that puts on some live events, and wants to send their qualifiers, and it's kind of just a give back to all the clubs like the TOC used to be.
Yeah. And it's not like to be a partner with you guys. You don't have to like pay membership fees or do any kind of crazy stuff. You just have to say, hey, I want to be a partner with you guys and send some people. That's it, right?
Yeah. Literally just shoot the roster over and you guys are signed up. So
yeah, true.
Do you have to
grassroots
have any kind
qualification.
of like club tattoos or stickers or anything?
if the more stickers, the better.
All right. I got it. Noted.
Yeah, that's something y'all need to change, man. Because before the Southeast, they never really sent guys to the TOC either very much to the the original TOC on Fort. So we need to start doing that for this one, maybe.
There might be a little rumor on the street that there might be a club from the Southeast heading over next year.
Oh, who you got? Is it one of the KFL teams or like a club?
Well, might be a new resurrected team over there.
Yeah. A resurrected team. Somebody coming back from the ashes?
I saw a Facebook post today that this guy was turning the lights back on.
I saw something about that. Is that bluegrass?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So yeah, I'd love to get you guys to come over this way. I mean, it's turning into a pretty awesome deal over there.
If you start throwing $10,000 checks around, I think you get people's interest. You might get some folks on the road.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a huge pot. I mean, I mentioned it earlier in my post, but to not be like affiliated with one of the three big, sponsored national trails, that's a huge turnout for, something that is, relatively just kind of the grassroots people putting it together and pulling something off that big. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I was really surprised by the numbers, the first year. I mean, I was figuring, like I told them I'd call it successful if we got between 75 and 100. And we had 167 show out the first year, and then we bumped her up to 172 this year. And hopefully it'll just keep growing and keep growing.
That's pretty consistent too. I mean, that's not you didn't see a huge fall off. I mean, you did see growth, which I think is important. But what did you change from year one to year two?
Basically, like last year, what we did is we focused on, giving out a lot of prizes. And I stood up front calling numbers for almost 45 minutes. And I mean, we gave out probably close to $15,000 in prizes. And I watched a whole crowd literally melt in their chairs going, is this guy done yet? And so we decided this year that we'd take that money and we'd move it to the big bass pot. And it seemed to be like a pretty good hit. I mean, we went $150 an hour and then $500 each day and then $1,000 overall.
I like that. As somebody that can't do anything but catch big bass this year, I'd be willing to sign up on that. Steve Fields, I know you're watching this.
Yeah, I mean
take note, Playboy.
It was definitely fun to watch. I mean, that hour 4, there was 3 fish over 20 that came in on day 2 and a 19.5 in there too. And 3 of those guys didn't get any money.
So, and y'all did a trash fish pot too, didn't you? How much did the trash fish guy walk home with?
What? What?
So a trash fish is any fish that's not a bass. Doesn't matter how you catch it, it's a trash fish. Like, get it in the boat and get a picture, It's just kind of a fun little thing that Josh started with the Moyak Club. And we ended up paying out $600 on literally a $10 throw in.
Come on. What won that?
It was a 26.5-inch carp, like a river buffalo. And
wow.
The guys literally got J.S. Elsera, I think was his name. But he's literally got one finger up in its gill. It's the first time he's ever caught one. And you could just tell he was struggling to keep it on the board. This thing, he said it was flopping all over the place. But if that Logan DePie from Indiana, that young kid that comes down, he actually, if he would have got in the trash pot, he would have crushed it. He caught a giant spoonbill.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, this thing was huge. He's standing up with it in his kayak and he's holding it. I mean, it was big.
How would you have verified length? Would he have to lay on it and then measure himself or something weird?
Like I told him, I said, you catch something crazy, just get a reference point and we'll figure it out later,
He's got a fish
But
stick
we
with
ended
like
up-
7 extra joints on it. It's fine.
We ended up going and getting a garbage can like at 2:30 because we were sitting around the office judging fish and joking about it. And I'm like, somebody brought up getting a trash can for the trash fish trophy. And so Josh ran to Walmart quick, grabbed a little flip open trash can. We threw some stickers on it, wrote on the front of it. And it sounds like that's going to be a staple every year now.
That's pretty. Hey, here's what you ought to do, man. Let me add to your trash trophy. Every club ought to bring a sticker and slap on that sucker too, if they have
Right.
one.
Definitely.
That'd be pretty
Definitely.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. Like trading pins at a little league game or something.
Yeah,
I like
there
what
you
y'all
go.
are doing over there. It is too fun. I was so sick to miss it this year. I told Brian if I'd have been there, man, our team would have still came in the same exact position. It wouldn't have helped at all. But I sure would have had fun. I sure would have had fun up there, man. You guys put on.
I sat in the office and judged 1,070 fish in 2 days.
In tough conditions too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, first day was bright high skies, coming off a cold front. And I mean, the full moon really didn't help either. And then the next morning it was lightning and blowing rain every direction you could see.
Yeah, I was texting some of my guys wishing them luck, and I was getting texts back of radar shots of what was coming down. And I felt bad. I felt kind of good being in my house, though.
Yeah, no
Sitting
doubt.
at home in the warm living room.
Yeah, I was in Illinois Sunday trying to hunt, and it started storming at like 4 a.m. and I was like, "There's no freaking way I'm climbing a tree with this crap coming through."
Yeah.
I'll just drive on back to the house. Y'all can keep that. I touched a little bit of Missouri on the way back. I got to see East St. Louis. Lovely place.
Yeah.
I
go
missed
see
an
DJ?
exit, so I got to go roam around. I texted him on the way through when I was coming through St. Louis on the way up. I texted him. I was going to see if he had a show going. I was going to stop by, see what was happening.
That'd have been fun.
It
That'd have
was.
been fun.
I do it.
Yeah, man. Any more questions for Brian or Tyler? Throw them in here. Josh is in the comments too, but Tyler, tell everybody what's going down. And one of the reasons I wanted you to slide on here at the second half of the show is what's going down in 22 and 23, because you guys are changing things up. The fall's kind of gotten heavy with championships, so you guys have kind of made a decision there, haven't you?
Yeah. We decided, we were sitting around and we were thinking about it. You have some pretty major championships in the fall, and the last thing we ever want to do is take away from some of that or have our guys taken away from that, for other stuff. Give everybody the most opportunity they can get. So we started looking at the spring, and then we were trying to figure out, bass is normally in March. Well, I mean, then there's nothing till the fall. So it's like, how do we transition to move our event to the spring? Because a lot of the guys that fish here like to fish the KBF or they're chasing the TOC. I mean, and so we decided that next April we're going to do an open qualifier event just kind of our big event. It won't be a true classic, but it'll be, you know, a bigger event there that'll just kind of be an open event for anybody to come and try it and get qualified. Then we'll run through the normal part of the year, you know, with all the clubs fishing like they normally do and qualifying their anglers. We'll get through the end of 2022. We won't have anything at the end of 2022 like we did this year. It'll actually be in the April of 2023 will be the next big classic, where by then we got a really good thing rolling. You know, we're drawing some anglers. I mean, the sponsors are starting to reach out, and so hopefully we can make it bigger and better every time.
Yeah, and I tell you what, man, Truman is big enough to hold probably double what you had, wouldn't you say? I mean, it's a giant lake.
Yeah, I mean, and then we do have the option of Lake of the Ozarks is tied right to it. You know, so if it comes to that point, we can open that water up too, you know, and just kind of see what happens.
I like that spring bite a lot better for championships. You know, the national championship was always traditionally in the spring, and one of the things that made it cool was you would see some really big bags get put up. Not you know, saying that the national championship down in Bossier City wasn't big bags. Clearly it was, but I don't think that is comparative to every other place in the rest of the country. Most places in the fall fish pretty tough during that transition period. Some of them just are sad. Like Chickamauga, I think it took like 12 pounds to get in the top 10 or something in the CBA, and they put out 40-pound bags like through the year, and it, you know, like 16 pounds on it. Like, that's how tough even the Tennessee River chain is fishing in the fall. So I like seeing a championship in the spring. I think that gives more people a better opportunity to go out and put up a big bag.
Yeah, I think it'll raise our overall attendance. I mean, everybody's pumped up in the spring to fish. You know, by the time you get to the fall, you're wore out, you're tired. You know, it's like, do I really want to do that? You know, I think it'll give everybody that refresher. You got all your new vacation. You know, you're good to go. And I mean, you can kind of plan for it, and makes it a little easier.
It's not in hunting season. I mean, hunting season's a big deal, man. You lose a lot of guys in October. Even for state championships, people don't show up because of that.
Yeah. I was super happy to move it back to October because November's our rut here in Iowa. And that's time to live in a tree. So
y'all have trees.
I don't really care for anything after about June. I'm ready. I'm done by about June. You give me February through June, you can have the rest.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we do have a couple other things in the works. We're not all the way finalized yet, but there might be a higher level series coming out of the All American.
Oh my!
And so once we get that, then we'll get hop back on here and we'll chat about it. So
let me ask you this, and Brian, this will be a good question for you because you've traveled and fished nationally, you know, all the major series, but you also have fished with Mo Yak, of course. But why would a guy give an All American Kayak Series and the Classic a look as compared to chasing the Bass Championship or the TOC or whatever? Because I think it gets left out of the conversation. I mean, I know it's still new, but it's kind of been left out of the conversation when you talk about what trail you're going to fish or what trail you're going to chase. Why should people give this a look as an angler that obviously fished it this year?
You know, for me, it was about time. You know, the available amount of time that I had, and you know, the amount of travel I was having to do. I was really having to pull back on chasing some of those bass tournaments, and you know, I've only fished a few Hobies over the last couple of years. You know, because the travel is so far, and you know, and they were 2-day tournaments too. So I mean, it was a real commitment to go and chase those. And I would say most anglers are probably like me. If I can't fully commit to something and actually you know, compete and try to finish well and do well in the AOY. I have a hard time committing my time and my money to it. So, the All American Series being as close as it was, and I just didn't fish here in Missouri. I mean, I went to Oklahoma, Iowa, those places to compete in this, but it was just a little bit more doable for me. And it is a step up and step above your club and state events for sure. So, I mean, that's my perspective, and I would say that there's probably a lot of anglers that have the same perspective as well.
Kind of that middle ground. It's good stuff. And I know that over in your area, Ryan, people have been talking about doing something that was kind of an in-between, right? Between the local stuff and national stuff.
We talked about it. Well, I mean, I guess back when we got KBN rolling, that was that's one of the reasons that our little group chat came to exist is we were looking for that, kind of higher level event outside of the state stuff, but still kind of regional, like a Southeast Shootout type deal, pick 6 of the best lakes in the South or something and put a big trail on it. I think, I wish, I don't know where you would put it. I don't know. And I don't mean location wise, I mean time wise. Like now I feel like the schedule is, especially in the Southeast, is so saturated. You almost feel pressured, like every 2 weeks, like you have to be somewhere else. And it's probably part of my own mindset. I feel like I can't say no to something that's, 3 or 4 hours away. But there's just so many tournaments now. Like, I don't know if there's room to squeeze something like that in down here now. I don't know. I mean, it's still in the back of my head. I'd love to see it happen, but I don't know. I don't know how much time I can put into it personally.
Yeah. Well, it's a cool thing that the All American has going. I wasn't really sure, to be honest, when you guys, after the first All American Classic, which I thought was an awesome idea, which you guys jumped in with a series right away. I thought, man, are they kind of getting out ahead of themselves a little bit? What are they doing here? But it seemed to go good. I mean, you guys had pretty good attendance, and you expanded your footprint next year, going all the way up to Michigan, it looks like, up that way. So
you got one on Kentucky Lake too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you slipping on down here too. I see you.
We're just taking a little poke over that way.
Trash fish pot's going to be fire there. Catch some Asian carp.
Yeah, everybody will be in on that one. I'm going to come just for the trash fish pot.
Right.
Have you a little Asian carp cookout at the end.
The series went really well this year. I mean, we averaged across the board 50 anglers, which pretty decent for a first year series. This year we're kind of changing the structure of it a little bit. We're going to go to the 2-day events and a little higher entry fees and kick a little more money into that AOY pot and start paying that AOY spot out, because it's been like the thing I notice is like the AOY never pays out really what it deserves. I mean, in certain places, but I mean, those guys, that's the guy that's bust his butt all year and stayed consistent, and we're going to try to give some recognition for that. So.
And who won yours this year? Didn't Lance win?
I'm sorry.
No, I was just wondering. Didn't Lance win y'all's Moyak?
Yeah.
Moyak? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he won it in 4 events.
Yeah.
What's your entry fee going to be? What are you moving to?
We're going to bump up to $175 for a 2-day event. And then we're going to carry some money. I'm not sure the exact numbers. Josh is the number guy. But we are going to take some out for AOY. We're going to take some out for the championship and just kind of roll with it.
And what was your entry fee on the Classic?
150.
Okay.
And then the sportsman's award, we give them half off so they all get in, as a little recognition for their club, the $75 buy-in. So that's always a good award to be able to hand out.
And do y'all do an overall sportsman award at the end? Didn't y'all name that after Ben?
Well, we actually put one out. We put one out for our class or the series. We named Troy Yankee. I mean, This guy, he keeps us all in line at about every event. So
I got you.
He
Throw
does a
that
lot for the
comment by
series.
Shane Kitchens up there, Jeff.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, if our local events are like 35 or $40, and then the big national events are like 200 or $250, like there's a big range for something in between that, because some guys they can't take off the time to pursue that, or they don't want to go spend $250 on a lake that they've never been able to see before. If you have these kind of more regional trails with a more moderately priced entry fee, they feel more comfortable throwing away $100 on a lake that's maybe only 3 or 4 hours from them, and they can still hit that whole series. That's why that market's there.
Yeah. I mean, it works out great. It's like I said, the All American is like it's a working man's championship. It's not the guy that's going to be out traveling every week. It's more based on the grassroots, to give them something. I mean, I was fortunate enough to win that TOC trophy in 2017. And I mean, like when I handed the trophy to both these guys, Brian and Jeremy Mitchell last year, like the goosebumps stood up on my arms. Like it was me getting it again,
Yeah.
And just to watch
Mitchell,
that.
He won the event and qualified him. That's what put him in the 10, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And he went down and almost won the 10, like without fishing one KBF event, about went down there and took it all from him.
Yep.
I was rooting for the underdog on that one. I mean, I like the hammers in the house, but I would have loved it if he came in without fishing one KBF event and just wiped the floor with him.
Right.
Was that a deal this year, or was that a one-time deal, Tyler?
That was just a one-time deal. Okay. KBF was talking about doing the team challenge thing, and we had this set, and we ended up talking to him, and I mean, Chad was very sportive in the deal to let us just take off and run with this idea. So
yeah.
And
well, I like that y'all aren't officially affiliated with anybody. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, the only affiliation we have is Everhart's. I mean, these guys, they kill it for us. I mean, these guys behind the scenes during the event, I mean, they literally have everybody working in case somebody's broke down or somebody needs some help on the water. They'll send a person in a heartbeat. They're banging out the signs and the banners and setting the tent up and getting the lights. I mean, these guys really bust butt and make it a lot easier for me and Josh to just roll in and make this thing run.
Yeah. And I mean, like, affiliated with national tournament organizations, not necessarily sponsors. That's awesome. I know Everhart's is a big sponsor of you guys. And one thing I wanted to raise an alarm about, did you say Josh was your money guy or your numbers guy?
Yep.
Isn't he a Marine?
Well, he reads a little.
Okay. Sorry.
No, I mean, with what Josh does behind the scenes with all the different series he runs, I mean, my hat's off to that guy because I couldn't keep it all straight. I mean, I can barely put together one event, let alone doing 5 different series and trying to make everything go. So, I mean, he's a heck of a director, and I mean, he does some pretty great things.
Oh yeah, heck, Moyak's pulling 100 an event these days, aren't they, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
they're killing it down there.
We had quite a few events over 100 anglers this year.
Yeah. Right here in the Midwest, out there, as you would say, Ryan, out there, out that way.
Who would have thought?
Who'd have thunk it? Yeah, man. Yeah, we got some few questions and comments coming in. Somebody said there, oh, that's Davison. He's always banging that AAKC drum. He said he's already been paid for it too. You already got the payments out?
Yeah.
How's that possible?
Yeah.
Did y'all hand out cash money? Did I see some cash money changing hands at the event too?
Every hourly big bass was paid in cash.
Okay. People walking out of there making it rain.
That's that bar money.
Yeah.
You got to have that.
I hope he pays it in checks, and I'm absolutely terrible at anything to do with the mail. So I left like my two big bass checks laying on my table for months. And poor Steve Fields is messaging me. He's like, "Hey, accounting was wondering, like, did you get those checks?" And I'm like, "Yes, I swear, like, I'm gonna cash them. I promise. I'm so sorry." I just want direct deposit. I want direct deposit with Hobie. That's all I'm asking.
That's the next evolution. Direct deposit info. They'll pay you in Bitcoin.
Please.
Or
There you go.
Shiba.
Yeah. Whatever. Gosh, don't even get me started on all that mess.
Yeah.
I don't know how many dog quarters a kayak costs, but I don't know how much I can get done with that kind of stuff.
They're
we've
free
got,
if you come to the event and draw the right ticket. We gave away another kayak this year.
Sure enough did. I think we need to start a campaign to get the Tennessee Valley guys to send a team up here next year. What do you think? Or in 2023.
Deal.
What do you think,
Hey,
Brian?
if Kentucky
do it.
brings a group, you have to
Bring
bring a group.
All right.
And I bet you that
Steve-O.
they could find you a crappy bar somewhere in that town, Ryan. I guarantee.
There's a bunch of them.
Put it on the list.
There's a
Put it
few.
on the list. Let's go. I'll run a squad up there. I ain't worried about it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
They eat jackhammer. He already told me they eat jackhammers. I'll come.
Right.
Sounds like a great time.
Especially in the spring. Hooker
Yeah,
ranchers. My God,
especially in
Steve.
I know I wasn't gonna dignify that comment with a response, Jeff. But now that you've already poked the bear,
It's so shocking. I'm not going to throw it on the screen, but I've said it.
that
I've
must
done
be
said
some overseas tournament experience. I don't know. I haven't seen many tourneys paying those out around.
That's some of that Italy Bass Nation talk. I don't know what that is.
That's something. International flavor.
Yeah, for real.
Speaking
Any more-
of Hobie Worlds, go ahead and announce
Oh.
that location, Steve, while you're talking about vouchers.
We can get you a link right now, Steve, if you want to slide in here. I'll send you the link. Oh, wait a minute. Miss Booth. Is this true, Brian? Said maybe he didn't want his wife to know he got paid yet. He's in trouble. He's in big trouble. We've got a troll in the comments too. I don't know who's Clinton.
I saw that,
Yalchemy
man.
is.
I was like, somebody, I don't.
Oh my God! Look at this. We got trash talk.
Uh-oh. Darn it.
Oh my gosh, whatever.
There
Grab
goes the
Tennessee
gloves.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Listen, I could put together a little A team out of Tennessee, and I promise you don't want that smoke.
That's what they want.
Okay.
That's what
I
the
don't care
boys
if you're in
want.
Alaska. We'll go salmon fishing with grizzly bears. You don't want to play that game. Come on now.
They're begging for it up there.
All right,
All right.
Josh. If you're
Okay.
listening, let's get these side bets rolling.
We're gonna
That'd be good.
we'll have to set it up a series though. Now we'll bring a Tennessee team up and run y'all in this one, but you're gonna have to come down to one of our big events and bring some over there folks down.
We can bring them all. Just combine them all to come down.
Right.
Bring everyone.
It's all
over.
one big state. Okay.
Pick Billy Bowden up on the way back down, wherever he's at in relation to Missouri. Bring him with you. Y'all
He'll
just head
drive.
out here wide dick up and we'll get it.
Billy will drive.
I've followed Billy. I don't want him driving anymore, ever.
Yeah. No, this has been a fun show tonight, man. Well, I know we're getting up against the hour, and Ryan's probably needs to go get another IV drip going, fighting off his head cold. But anything else from the crowd before we go? I guess I need to pick a winner of this giveaway. Let's see if we can do that real quick. Yeah, my man.
I'm ready, player.
Brian, you got anything else you want to drop before we go, man?
I've dropped about all I can, man.
Mr. Hillman, how about you, buddy? Anybody you want to
You
thank?
got some
Yeah.
Thank
sponsors?
your wife.
Wives.
I thank my wife on my Facebook post, but yeah, we're good.
All right.
She said she ain't getting 2 thank yous. I got her on my Facebook.
That's because she just took $5,000.
That's cold.
She doesn't
That's
know yet.
cold.
Listen, I haven't told anybody this, but a few people know this. I left the ceremony and I made it about 3 miles down the road. My truck broke down. So yeah, that prize money is going into that truck.
There you go. It's always
It worked
something.
out,
Isn't it?
though. It
It's
worked
always
out.
something.
It's been a good
Always
rig.
something, man.
I'm gonna keep it.
Tyler, give us where do people find info on the All American Kayak Series for next year?
All American Kayak Series.com. We got a Facebook page. We got a Facebook group. Jump on, follow me. I try to share everything that rolls through. Josh, same way. You know, you can get just about our new schedule is up on the Facebook page. So, and it should be like Troy stays right on top of that. So,
All right. Cool. All right.
and
hey,
I mean, I'll just throw a little teaser, just a little one. There's talk of a high roller series next year or this next season.
like a high roller side pot or a different schedule?
Different schedule completely.
Really? When you say high roller, you talking about $1,000 per event? Oh.
What?
So how many?
We'll discuss it later.
Where's
My
this
God.
at?
What's that?
Where's it at? I mean, what part of the world are we talking here?
We're
It's out
talking.
yonder.
We're talking. All right. So rough estimates. 3 events.
Here we
3
go.
events. 50% at the 50% January 1st. 50% at the month before the event. We'll have 3 events and then a championship.
What do you mean 50%? You got to put the money down?
Yep.
Like it.
Prepaid.
Prepaid.
That way we know where we're at. We know where we're serious.
We're going to see how cheap you SOBs are, you kayak fishermen.
Well, and it's like I said, I think to get those top level sponsors and get them in this game, we have to invest in ourselves.
You're right.
We have to show them that we're willing to play.
And people keep clamoring wanting the pro level stuff. Look at how pro fishing works. They have a set roster and entry fees are paid up front, and you know what's happening.
Right.
Like that's if you want to be pros, act like it. I mean, be ready.
Right. And that's it, I mean, 250 is a ton of money in the game. Don't get me wrong. I'm a working man, as you can see. But I think if we truly want to get to that next level and we want to push for those bigger sponsors and show them that we're serious about this, we got to put our own money up to do this.
Right.
So, I mean, we're still ironing out a lot of details on it, but you get me and Josh together and you never know what we come up with. So
Josh said that was top secret info. Nobody watches this anyway, so it's still secret. Don't worry.
Sorry, man.
I know we weren't supposed to say anything yet.
There's only like 60-something people watching right now, so you're
right. Oh, this will be spreading like wildfire.
They won't tell anybody.
Yeah. Social media is always secretive. Don't worry. Nobody says anything to anyone.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
So
good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to wrap this thing up tonight. We're going to be back next week. Ryan and I talked about doing a fall edition of the call-in show next week. And since it's the day after Halloween, what do you think about doing like some sort of viewer call-in costume contest for some shades, Ryan?
My biggest fear is that Ryan Van Tine will call in.
I'm hoping he does. Maybe he won't. Maybe he won't get word of this.
That's my biggest fear in this costume contest.
Yeah,
because I have no idea what it's going to be. But yes, I say let's do it. What's the worst that could happen?
That's all right. What's the worst that could happen? We do get to see a little preview thumbnail of the person before we throw them on the screen, so we'll know if we're safe for the FCC or whatever shuts us down. Yeah. So next Monday we'll put some more details on that. We're gonna do a little call-in show and have a little color costume contest. It'll be fun. But that's it. Oh, hey, and I just saw Jesse Halverson comment. You're the winner of the swag pack, Jesse. I just did the little name deal. So Jesse, my man Jesse Halverson.
Jesse, I've got your koozie too. You asked about it earlier. Wide Dick Open koozies. I've still got some left. If man needs one, shoot me a message.
All right. Yeah, shoot me a message as well, Jesse. I will send you the swag pack. But, man, what a good night. That was fun. Congratulations again, Brian.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yep, yeah, good job, man. Tyler, way to put on a great event. That's an awesome payout. I mean, obviously, huge attendance. Y'all are doing something big, man. Can't wait to see what the secret that we're not going to talk about anymore ends out to.
Yeah,
All right,
we'll
boys.
definitely get it hammered out.
Sounds good. All right, boys, we're gone. See y'all.
All right, appreciate
Take
it.
it easy.
See ya. Thanks, guys.